A lot of people view their job as a way to generate income. We don't, because there are a lot easier ways to make a living than what we've chosen to do. Okay, we do this because we care, because we're passionate, and we put a lot more into our jobs than many, many other careers. And so when it's not going so well, we really notice it because we're putting a lot into it. I mean, think about that. There's very rarely do we say, well, it's just a job, because there are easier jobs to have. There really are. Look at these ones. These are about your performance at work. Feel comfortable delegating responsibility at work. Become assertive. Feel good about your accomplishments. Learn to organize your time. Eat right, exercise regularly. You know, it's these things that this stuff is not necessarily going to reduce burnout. In fact, if I saw this stuff when I was beginning to burn out, I'd probably end up being more burned out. Because these are the things that I'm doing wrong anyway. I'm not organizing my time. I'm not assertive. Okay? I love that one. Become assertive. I saw that in 4 websites. Become assertive. Okay, thanks. I forgot to do that. Let me go do that now, as if it's that easy. Okay? Feeling good about your accomplishments? Yeah, I could see that. But you see how some of this advice just makes us feel worse. Makes us feel like, God, we're not doing this right. Now look at these other ones. These are all self-care stuff. And we hear that a lot, over and over again. Burnout prevention is about self-care. Find outlets like take a walk. Well, I like walks. Avoid sex, alcohol, prescription drugs, and caffeine. Look everywhere for humor. Okay? Again, this is hard stuff if you're already burning out. Basically, what these things are doing is saying to you, stop feeling what you're feeling. It's like if you have a brain tumor and you have a headache and you take aspirin to stop the headache. These are alleviating the symptoms, but they're not alleviating the problem, the basic core of what burnout is about. So, I think burnout is about our relationship with our job. Our relationship with our job. Not how we necessarily feel about our job, but really if you think about our relationship. Now, that's good when it's going well. I saw this on a bumper sticker. It was hilarious. I saw that. I'm like, oh, I wanted to follow her and see where she was driving into. See, I think the problem about when we start viewing our job as a relationship, even I love our job. If we can say I love our job, then we also can end up saying, I hate my job, right? The problem is, our job can't love us back. We're using these concepts, these relationship concepts, these relationship ideas, for something that is not a relationship. Our job is not a person. Our job is a construct. Our job isn't even a thing. It's not tangible. Think about your job. Think about what you do. You can't put it in a box. It's not something. Okay, even puppies, you can put in a box. Puppies will love us back, right? Oh gosh, yes. A job can't love us back. So when we start thinking about our job like a relationship, it can cause lots of difficulties. And then she'd say, why are you doing this? Back and forth and back and forth. And finally she said to me, and I didn't get it right at first, but I got it after a second. She said, Neil, this job is your bad boyfriend. And I'm like, my bad boyfriend? What do you mean? And she said, well, you know, a lot of women talk about, you know, having a bad boyfriend, a boyfriend that they see so much potential, and there's so much great stuff there, okay? But there's so much negative, and you keep thinking, he'll change. Now, I tried to switch that to a bad girlfriend, okay? But I know it doesn't work, because women are great, so you don't need to change. Like, no. But we started talking about this job as my bad boyfriend. And she'd be like, how's your boyfriend? You know, and it was this revelation for me that I'm looking for something in a job that can't give it to me because the job is not a person. I'm giving. We give a lot in our jobs. We do. The problem is when we start expecting something back. Now, I'm a family therapist. I do relationship work all the time. And there is a give and take in relationships. And we give to relationships with hope and expectation that we'll get something back. The problem is our job can't give something back because it's not a person. The hardest part of our jobs is we give a lot. And sometimes we're expecting something that our job just can't give us back. And I think that's okay. The more that I thought about that, the more comfortable I became with that idea that my job can't give me back what I'm looking for. That my job, this took me a while to get to, my job doesn't have to be fulfilling. So, what to do? Some of this is a little bit different than what you've heard before. One of the traditional things about burnout is talk to people about it. Find a confidant. Find somebody that you can chat to about it. The research recently is not so much. That's really not so good. The more we vent, the more burned out we become. Because what happens is we end up venting, we only end up talking about the negatives of the job. And if you're working in an agency or you're working in a school, you know those people who are also burning out. And that's who you sit next to during the staff meeting, you know, and that's the one that you're looking at, you know, when the boss or the principal is telling you about a new thing that you've got to do, and you're like, here we go again. You know, that's venting, and that basically makes it worse. Now, there's a great Buddhist monk, Thich Nhat Hanh, who writes about anger. And I love one of the things that he says. He says that there is no releasing anger. There is only rehearsing it. There's no releasing anger. There's only rehearsing it. That the more that we talk about it, the more we're just rehearsing it. It doesn't leave us. The cathartic response, which we've, you know, if you remember from grad school again, cathartic response is becoming more and more of a myth. Because what happens is we vent, we blow a gasket, and then what do we feel right afterwards? It feels so good. I'm glad that I had a chance to talk about that. Because it does feel good. Because your body just produced, or didn't produce, but just released, your brain released 2 major chemicals. One of them is adrenaline, and that's what you feel right afterwards. You know, that adrenaline response, you just feel good and energized. It's so much better. But the other thing that your body produces is cortisol. Cortisol is the cranky hormone. I don't know a better way to put it. You know, what's that? The stress hormone. Yeah, it makes us cranky. It increases our inflammation, etc. So the adrenaline response is about 2 to 3 minutes in our system. The cortisol response stays in our system for 4 hours. So you get 2 or 3 minutes of feeling good by venting, and then you're cranky for another 4 hours.